I'm in the world, but not of it. I praise God every day and I love it. I say what I want and I say what they want. I stand for the truth and what's right and they don't. Life is simple, it's no puzzle. Common sense will tell you not to wear a muzzle. Fear no evil, trust no people. When in doubt, shout, I'm a believer. I fear no man, though the world is broken. God, shine your light on me. I fear no man, though the world is broken. God, shine your light on me.
I offend everybody, the left, right, in the middle. Blame my parents because I've been this way since I was little. It used to be normal, now everybody praying to crystals. No wonder why it's so easy for the devil to trick you. They treat you like dogs, hitting muzzles all on your faces, forcing kids to wear them in schools. Doesn't this seem outrageous? They been Bible scriptures on TikTok.
Let's go to Target! Let's go to Target! Need some PlayStations! Let's go to Target! Hello, Pulpit. Let's go, me, myself, and I. Guys, it's Tuesday. Tuesday night, kicking the week off right. I don't know what's going on with me lately. I know what it is. It's too hot. I can't fall asleep because it's too hot. It's hot as hell in this apartment. Even with the 2 air conditioners going, they can't hang. They can't compete with this heat. And so it takes me forever to fall asleep. I toss and turn all day long. And then when it's time for me to wake up and start the show, I'm like, no, I got to get some sleep. I got to get some sleep before work. So that's pretty much what happened yesterday. And I was like, my stomach was feeling weird all day yesterday. I couldn't sleep because of the heat. Tossing and turning all day. Finally fall asleep. And then my alarm goes off and I have to wake up and do the show. And I was like, nah. I'm going to get some sleep. Anyway, so that's what happened. But we're back here on a Tuesday. Tuesday night, kicking the week off right. Dreaded Conservative show. Sponsored and funded by viewers like you. Dono Bar. I guess Lindsey Graham died, what, Sunday? Maybe Monday during the day? No, because I had it. No, Sunday. Lindsey Graham died. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Now the FBI, I guess, is investigating it. Trump says no reason to investigate Lindsey Graham's death. It was a regular death. But Alex Jones is saying Lindsey Graham was investigating what? Nuclear drones or something? What the heck is Alex Jones talking about? Did Lindsey Graham die yesterday in a Russian airstrike while he was visiting a secret kamikaze drone factory? That's what Alex Jones is saying. So that's why the FBI is looking into it, because there's some conspiracy action going on here. It might have been Russia. Trump says no. Alex Jones says yes. Then we also got the ICE shootings. ICE shootings. That means more riots. More riots for a while. Sorry, I'm looking at something. ICE shootings in Maine and Texas. I haven't seen anything about the Texas one. I heard somebody talking about it, but I don't know any details of the Texas one yet. But I have the information on the Maine one, and we'll do some live research for the stuff that happened in Texas. And then to wrap it up, everything that happened during the Tyler Robinson pretrial last week. Excuse me, I can't talk. Everything that happened in the Tyler Robinson pretrial preliminary hearing last week. We'll have the wrap up on all that. And then in rapid fire, I put it in rapid fire. I guess it's probably more like a main story thing is the increased aggression on Iran over the last week. It ain't over. Now we're talking about the Strait of Hormuz again, the blockade. I didn't put it in the main story news because it's just going to be a background part of the news forever. And all the people that say Trump started a new war. Well, is it a new war or is it a forever war? Because it can't be both. I think it's a forever war. I don't think it ever wasn't started. But we're going to look at the new events occurring in Iran. Kokomo. Still can't deal with JS and the dreads. You guys like the watermelon shirt? It's White History Month, and white people love watermelon. Summertime, sunshine, watermelon. That's just summer right there. And that's not a black thing, okay? Watermelon in White History Month. Shout out. I can't talk about food right now. My stomach is empty. I wonder if I got any snacks. I ain't got no snacks. I ain't got nothing to eat except ingredients. All right, let's talk about Lindsey Graham. Let's start off. That's it. That's the idea. Those are all the bro, this fuck. That's the plan for the show. How come this thing never works right? Yeah, don't put pizza in my chat. I have pizza crust. I might now need to eat that pizza crust because my stomach is empty now. Hold on. I got some old pizza crust. Put something in my belly. All right. Sorry, y'all. I had to get something in my stomach. Longtime GOP, this is from Fox. Longtime GOP Senator Lindsey Graham dies at 71 after brief and sudden illness. He died at the age of 71. He represented South Carolina in the U.S. Senate since 2003 and previously served 4 terms in the U.S. House of Representatives. Graham was a longtime member of the Senate Judiciary and Armed Services Committees. He served in the U.S. Air Force and Air Force Reserve, retiring as a colonel after a 33-year career. Senate Majority Leader John Thune called Graham a trusted advisor and colleague and said his influence will be felt for generations. Now, I'm not going to dwell on rumors. Right now, like, there are people like Brian Shapiro and the left who are, as soon as he dies, it's like, he was a closeted homosexual. Why? Because you're saying that now and you can't get sued. I know a lot of people in government to say he was a closeted homosexual. Like, these people are such trash human beings. Making up that he was gay after he died. I don't know anything about that. I don't know. I don't try to do gay ops on senators, but he passed away. That's sad. What I do know about him is he was a never Trumper. He voted against Trump multiple times. He was a Republican war hawk. He's part of the swamp. And I always thought he was a woman for the longest time because his name is Linsey. But he's not a woman. He's a man. And now he dead. Ain't no sense praying for him no more. He gone. The medical examiner of the District of Columbia released preliminary findings Sunday regarding the death of Senator Lindsey Graham. According to the medical examiner, the preliminary examination found Graham suffered an aortic dissection. An aortic dissection due to arteriosclerotic cardiovascular disease. The ME said the death certificate will remain pending until toxicological and microscopic testing are finalized. The death certificate will be pending until all toxicological and microscopic testing are finalized. And at that point, the death certificate will be updated to reflect the cause of death and appropriately classify the manner of death. Now, what I'm seeing on breaking news from Politico, Trump says the FBI is wasting their time investigating Lindsey Graham's death. They're wasting their time. President Donald Trump questioned why federal agents are investigating Senator Lindsey Graham's death on Tuesday following unfounded rumors of possible foul play that have circulated on social media. So I don't see a lot of evil there. I know there's all sorts of conspiracy theories going along, Trump said, speaking with reporters in the Oval Office on Tuesday. I think the FBI is wasting their time if they're doing that. Graham's office said in a statement Sunday, the late senator died of a heart issue. It was aortic cardiovascular dissection. I don't know what that means, but it sounds bad. Aortic dissection due to arteriosclerotic cardiovascular disease. So that means sclerosis of the arteries, something like that. Are you going to DebateCon in Dallas? Yes, sir. You going? Yeah, you're going to be there. Yeah, I'm going to be there. Dry ass pizza crust. What the hell? I just need something in my stomach. It's empty right now. Cool. I'll see you there. If there's a giant gang fight, whose side are you on? If there's a giant gang fight at DebateCon, and we're all like Michael Jackson's Beat It video. We have a gang war. Which side are you on? Jake's like, I'm not picking a side in that. FBI Director Kash Patel had indicated earlier Sunday that federal agents would assist local authorities, but did not specify what specific inquiries the Bureau was pursuing. Agents were seen searching Graham's Washington home on Monday. So I'll show you what they're talking about. I'm on the side of the best dancers. Eating old pizza in the room. It's been in the microwave. I put it in the microwave the other day. Like on a plate, wrapped up in a microwave. What the heck? That's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so this is what Kash Patel's looking at. I think, because I don't know what other conspiracy is there. This is the conspiracy. Massive, corrupt. I don't know what that means, Alex, but okay. Did Senator Lindsey Graham die yesterday in a Russian airstrike while he was visiting a secret kamikaze drone factory? Now, he had just got done talking to the people in Russia over there. Ain't no motherfucking tuning in one motherfucking Tuesday. Oh, Ain't no motherfucker tuning in on a motherfucking Tuesday. I need to switch from beer to old pizza. JS is healthier than me. I just woke up. I'm tired. Okay, this is what we want to look at. Researchers are examining the timeline to discover whether or not Graham, who was reportedly still in Ukraine in the early afternoon, would have been able to make it back to D.C., where he reportedly died of cardiac arrest before midnight. Senator Graham is widely seen as one of the top architects of the NATO/neocon strategy to use Ukraine as a pawn to trigger a larger war between Russia and the West. His death is a major blow to war hawks in London and Brussels, as well as leaders of the Greater Israel Project and their plans for a Middle East-wide war. According to respectful... hold on, I should be reading this like Alex Jones. According to respectful former CIA case of officer Larry Johnson, the international press was set to break a major expose on Graham being paid hundreds of millions of dollars by the Ukrainian dictator Linsey in the last 4 years. Okay. Is that video? What the heck?
Everything lines up that Lindsey Graham was killed yesterday in Ukraine. He was there. They blow up the hotel he was reportedly with NATO staying at. It appears right after, we know they blew it up right after, a few hours after he left a secret drone factory. And then
so if Trump did know this and the FBI is investigating and Trump knows that he died this way, that would make sense why Trump would tell them not to investigate it. They're wasting their time because he knows that there's actually a cover up here. But if this is all a big plan to continue perpetuate a war, well, never mind. This is the So if Lindsey Graham is part of a larger scheme to perpetuate these endless wars, one of them being with Ukraine and Russia, then it would make sense that someone would have him offed. And then the only reason Trump would tell the FBI to stop wasting their time is if he was involved in it. I'm not going to play Alex's whole stream, but I wonder if he kind of suggests that at all.
he began to post.
He's wearing my outfit for DebateCon, a gray jacket with a black shirt.
And tweet videos
or,
and
for,
photos of himself at it.
For VKIRL.
And then the Russians blow it up with hundreds of missiles that came in.
It's true. Oh, my God, this guy.
And then hit the hotel. This comes after the Russians threatened more Kiev strikes back in May and told all U.S. diplomats and personnel, get out of the major cities. Do not go into any government buildings or hotels. We are going to start killing everyone in them. Russia threatens more Kiev airstrikes and tells foreign nationals to leave, particularly warning U.S. diplomatic corps to leave.
Okay. So that's the theory. That's the working theory from Alex Jones. Don't call him sweet thing. The heck is wrong with you? Get out of my chat. What's CNN saying? Remembering Lindsey Graham, tributes pour in for the late senator. Yeah, if you scroll through I scroll through my YouTube feed and it's like tons of different politicians are just, oh, I loved Lindsey. Oh, this is my story about Lindsey Graham. What a great man. Tributes poured in from the Capitol and across the country on Sunday after the word that Lindsey Graham, a longtime Republican, died. Who grew to be one of the president's close advisors. Trump recalled the senator as a tough political opponent turned fierce ally in an interview with CNN and said he spoke to Graham hours before his passing. The late senator made a name for himself as a foreign policy hawk who advocated for military intervention in Iran and Iraq and was a leading voice for U.S. support of Israel and Ukraine. Lame. War hawk. It will shake up the November election and leaves a Senate vacancy for South Carolina's governor to temporarily fill. Didn't they say his niece or something was taking his place? This is the post on X that his office made the day he died. The office of U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham released the following statement. On the evening of Saturday, July 11th, U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham passed away from a brief and sudden illness. Senator Graham's family appreciates prayers at this time and asks for privacy during this incredibly difficult period. Make Iran great again.
Mr. President, thank you.
Trying to find who took his place. I had an article that said who was, his sister. Okay, we'll play that. We'll see who's replacing him next. Let's watch this.
Thank you so much for joining us. Obviously, quite a shock. The senator was a close ally of yours. He referred to himself as your North Star, the Trump guy in the Senate. What are your thoughts about Lindsey Graham this morning?
Well, it's devastating. I thought he was fine. He called me last night. He just got back from Ukraine.
I thought he went against Trump all the time. Didn't he commonly vote against Trump on like bills and decisions and stuff? Maybe first term Trump, they weren't buddies and then they became friends over time. Support Putin, free Palestine. You know, you're one of the most ass backwards people I've ever seen, Maryland.
And he had a great trip. He was telling me about the trip. He was pushing very, very hard. You probably know he wanted to do the Save America Act. That he was talking about that. He was full of vim and vigor. He was tired. He said, "I'm tired," because it's a long trip. But other than that, he was fine. And he called me, I guess, just moments before, because he called me like at 6:30 or something, and the medical people got there a little bit later, right after that. What a terrible loss it is. He's a great politician. He was a natural. There are very few of them. He was a natural politician. Got along with everybody. When he didn't, he was very tough. He was a tough cookie too, but he got along with everybody.
See, even if Trump had messed up stuff to say about him, he ain't gonna say it right after the man dies. I can't make this comment because somebody's gonna be like, well, what about when so-and-so died and he said this? You're gonna act like he would never insult someone after their death, because he has. But he didn't disrespect old Lindsey. Warmonger. Yes, a warmonger. That's what a war hawk is, Maryland. Same thing. Let's see what the Independent's talking about. This may not even be related to this article, but this is Lindsey. Is this Lindsey Graham's sister? Darlene Graham. Who's still named Darlene in the year 2026? In this great year of 2026, who's still naming a kid Darlene? I guess she's not. She was born a long time ago, so she got named. She was the last Darlene. Let's see what's up with Darlene.
Been selected to serve out the remaining 6 months. Lindsey Graham's sister has been selected to serve out the remaining 6 months of his current U.S. Senate term. South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster announced on Monday that Darlene Graham Nordone would be the placeholder senator for South Carolina until January. It's somewhat unusual for a sibling to be appointed to succeed their sibling in the event of their death after Graham died over the
What kind of nepotism is that when your baby sister gets to take your place? Also, is she also in the Senate? Like, well, I guess if she was in the Senate, she couldn't take his place in the Senate. But what do you mean his sister? Is she in government? Is she a politician? She's just some random chick. It's like if you're the pilot of a plane and you die and your wife takes over the plane. She don't know how to fly a plane. Who is this lady and why? That is so weird. They just pick her sister. Okay, just send their sister in. He never married or had a family of his own. Hold on. Let's finish watching this. I want to see how his sister gets picked.
The weekend, but it's kind of makes sense in this circumstance.
A
We see this
sister?
happen a lot of times with widows fulfilling the unexpired term of their husbands
A
when
widow?
they die in office. Graham
That's crazy. So if a senator dies, they just pick some random woman in their family and let them replace them? That doesn't even make sense. Their widow or their sister?
never married, never had children of his own, but he and his sister have always been really close, and she has played an integral role in a lot of his
What the hell does that have to do with whether they should be a senator or not? Charlie Kirk's wife took over his political situation. It's the I get, but that's weird. Does anybody else not understand that that's weird? Okay, so I'm only gonna say this because I saw her post about it, but Rachel posted on X and said, if my husband died and I had to run his organization and blah, blah, blah. Basically, she was putting herself in Erica Kirk's shoes and saying how screwed up it was, all these people basically potentially trying to get Erica Kirk killed. Rachel was commenting on how messed up all that was. And she said something like, if my husband died and I had to run his organization, if Andrew died and Rachel took over as the head of the Crucible, that would be different. Because it's one thing running a YouTube channel. It's another thing being a senator or like a president or like a pilot or like a quarterback on a football team. The wife just doesn't come in and take over. Now, Rachel and Andrew begin debating early. Early on, they would do a lot of couples. Both of them would be on debating people. So she's been there from the beginning, and she's been on the channel, and she knows how the Crucible interior works, probably. And YouTube, a woman can do it, I guess, just as good as a guy, because even if they're not as entertaining or funny or smart, they're pretty, so they get bonus points. Now, I'm not saying that applies to Rachel, but women in general on YouTube, they get it easy. They get the easy path, easy mode. Most of YouTube is men, and guys will just watch a woman sometimes, even if she doesn't have anything to say. I'm not saying that's Rachel, but I'm saying just women in general. So that, like, example, she takes over the Crucible, he passes away, God forbid. That would make sense to me. But a sister, it even kind of makes sense to me that Erica Kirk would take over TPUSA, because she might have been helping run the inside and outside of that from the beginning. So that kind of makes sense. But a senator? This chick don't know nothing about senatoring. I don't know what this called. Yeah, she built it with him. But this lady did not help build Lindsey Graham into a senator.
campaigns. So that's for the next 6 months. But moving forward, there will be a special election to select a
Maybe it's
new
just like a
Republican
face- a
nominee
placeholder,
to face
a
off
face.
with Democrat Annie Andrews this fall. Graham had been seeking his 5th Senate term and just won nomination in June. Now, filing opens next week for the new
You get
primary,
5 Senate
which will be
terms, but
August
you only
11th.
get 2 presidential terms.
And
That makes
if
sense.
there's no one who gets a majority in that vote, there'll be a runoff 2 weeks later. It's always a busy political time in South Carolina, but this summer is definitely living up to that.
Wow. All right. So that's all that. Now, before I move on to the next story, I want to grab a little bit of live research. I need articles on Texas ice shooting or a video. Who did Trump talk with today? New videos of Texas ice shooting raise major concern. New surveillance video raises questions. So I don't know anything about this Texas ice shooting, but I do know a little bit about the Maine one. I have the stuff from the Maine one here, but over the past couple days, they're like happening in twos. First it was Minnesota and Minnesota, I guess. Then it was Texas, Maine. Two ice shootings almost back to back. So we can expect no Kings 4 protest. We can expect more disruption and protests and angry people in the streets, angry Antifa in the streets. But let's see what happened with this. I don't want that. I don't want that JLR investigates video.
Let's shop and then rendezvous.
Victim identified after DHS speaks out. This is the main one. Federal agents shot and killed a 26-year-old Colombian man identified as John Sebastian Guerrero by a neighbor. I'm sure we're going to come to find out that he had an AR-15 pointed at him and he was trying to kill them all, and then they took him. No, I'm kidding. But an immigration operation in Maine on Monday morning, the Immigration and Customs Enforcement officer fired his weapon, fearing for public safety, as the victim attempted to flee the scene. The Department of Homeland Security said in a statement nearly 12 hours after the incident. Conflicting accounts, Guerrero was not the target of the warrant. Senator Angus King's office said after the lawmaker again spoke with DHS Secretary Marquayne Mullen. King said earlier, citing a separate conversation with Mullen, that the man was the target of a warrant. He was a young father and a husband. Oh, here CNN goes, giving us the sob story. Guerrero's neighbor said the young man, who was headed to work when the shooting happened, lived with his partner. Does that mean he's gay? And their 3-year-old daughter. He was a good person, his neighbor told CNN. Sorry, I'm not trying to talk bad on the dead. When it says partner, I'm assuming it's a wife and their 3-year-old daughter. But when I read partner, I just don't know, because that's gay coded. Let's see.
From Colombia, who was authorized to win to CNN about a fatal ICE-involved shooting today in Biddeford, Maine. An immigration rights group says the man was a 26-year-old from Colombia who was authorized to work in the United States. Maine Senator Angus King says he spoke to DHS Secretary Marquayne Mullen about the incident and was told that this person was the target of an immigration enforcement operation.
No, it was not the target of the warrant. He was another guy who was there hanging out with the target of the warrant. And for some reason, he fled and they shot him. Now, take this with a grain of salt, because just like every time, whatever the leftist media is telling us, it's probably bullshit. This guy probably just got done raping and murdering a little girl and was like running with her hair in his hands or something, and the cop shot him. I'm sure we're going to find out more. There's probably already a bunch of more information out. I just haven't really been following this too much. I'm learning about it right now with you guys. I don't even know anything about the Texas one. A young father and husband. Of course they're going to present it like that.
and had been ordered removed from the country. King says Secretary Mullen also told him the man was shot after he allegedly tried to weaponize the vehicle he was in. The senator adding that the agents were not wearing body cameras. A witness says an ICE officer repeatedly yelled before opening fire after a car appeared to drive toward him. Another witness says the man was bleeding profusely from the head and told the officers, quote, "I tried to stop." The fatal shooting comes just days after a federal immigration enforcement officer shot and killed a Mexican immigrant during a traffic stop in Houston, sparking new calls for transparency and accountability. We're joined now by John Sandweg, former ICE acting director under President Obama. John, thanks for being with us. What questions do you have about how this particular case unfolded based on really the few facts that we know here?
We don't know a lot.
Yeah, Brian, I mean, it's the same as always, right? What caused the officer to think he was in, mortal fear here of imminent bodily harm? But also, Brianna, look, this is now at least the 18th shooting involving ICE since the commencement of the Trump administration, involving someone in a vehicle, right? So what I want to know is, why was the operational plan here to take this guy into custody?
Because they try to run him over all the time. They follow their vehicles around and harass them. No body cams, BS, cops murk, dude. Of course you're going to say that. You're one of those, I just hate the cops. No matter what cops do, I hate the cops guys. Grow up. High school's over, sweetheart. The cops are there to get the bad guys out. ICE is there to get rid of degenerate, nasty gang member, PDF file, weird, illegal people who aren't doing nothing to help the black community, the white community, nobody.
While he was driving, could we have done this in a way that posed less risk, not only to the individual himself, but to the ICE officers?
They shot him while he was driving.
Car vehicle stops are incredibly dangerous.
I guarantee. Where's the video? We got footage? Where's the footage? I guarantee this dude was trying to run the cop over.
They're not something that generally federal agents do. Those are what state and local police do in marked vehicles. It's especially not something that ICE has done, and definitely not something they've done much of over the last 6 years, Brianna, where the majority of the arrests have taken place of people that are already in Border Patrol custody or in custody of state and local police. So I want to know.
Well, that's because the police aren't handing them over anymore. What city is this in? This is in Maine? Oh, God. We need to get Zach over here from the Maine First Project. We need to get him on the case. I need to know the deets.
What was it? What was the plan in terms of when we went to
only lawbreakers dislike the police.
That made us say, hey, a vehicular stop was necessary.
Or like
and 16-year-olds. We couldn't have let him at least arrive at his destination, take him into custody there, or take him into custody before he ever got into that vehicle.
I've been arrested probably 20 times in my life, and I've never had a bad experience with a cop. Never got roughed up, always treated respectfully. They always took me to jail, but not always, actually. Okay, 2 fatal ICE shootings in less than a week. Catch up on Maine and Texas here. So, 26-year-old Colombian man, John Sebastian Guerrero. Yeah, he sounds American. And Lorenzo Sagado Alaro, a Mexican immigrant, during a traffic stop in Texas. Don't punch me, Jess. Who lying? Who lying? I ain't lying. Fallout from the 2 incidents unfolding nearly 2,000 miles apart also reached Minneapolis. Of course it reached Minneapolis. They don't got nothing better to do over there. It's a bunch of fat, radical lesbians who just protest all day. Where calls for accountability among immigration and customs enforcement agents have been reignited following the January shooting deaths of Renee Good and Alex Preddy in Minneapolis. Okay. Let me see this Texas shooting right here. Right, Joel. New videos raise major questions. New surveillance video raises questions.
New video shows the clearest images yet of what led up to the deadly shooting of 52-year-old Lorenzo Salgado Araujo by ICE agents. This video posted by his son shows Araujo leaving for work that morning. Surveillance video later picks him up.
What's his work? Trafficking children in a white van?
Turning a corner, being tailed by a dark SUV that appears to try to get around the
Shut up,
van.
Marilyn.
Another angle shows a second SUV cutting through a parking lot to catch up. Moments later, the vehicles circle back around, and ICE agents appear to pull someone from the van. Salgado then seen here on the ground moments after being shot.
Oh, see, he's all right.
DHS initially
no, he
said
got shot.
Salgado weaponized his vehicle in an attempt to run.
Of course, he tried to run over the cops. You got shot. Same as Renee Good. Maybe one day they'll figure out if I try to run over a cop, he's probably going to shoot me.
And over an ICE officer who fired in self-defense.
Now look, they're going to say no.
That is simply false.
Now, the others inside that van currently in detention are speaking out through their attorney.
I believe that the shots did come from the science, not from the...
Tonight, Congresswoman Sylvia Garcia says the acting ICE director told her Salgado wasn't the target.
Is there a Mexican version of Benjamin Crump?
ICE was searching for an individual with a final removal order who officers believe had entered.
He got his final removal. Final removal order. He's finally been removed.
The van.
In a new statement, DHS says they observed a white van with an individual who resembled the target. Late today, Border Czar Tom Homan saying this.
If our agents violate policy, they violate the law, and they'll be dealt with.
DHS says the officers involved were not wearing body cams, but that
the Roman guards maintain law and order. I know, but the people demanded that they kill Jesus. And so they had to do their job. Plus, that was kind of always going to happen. It was kind of meant to happen that way. We should be cops, bros. We should be cops, bros. I don't know if you could just be a cop.
that all field
I got a
offices
record.
will have them in the next 60 days. Tom?
Okay, Priscilla Thompson, thank you. We thank you for watching, and remember, stay
Well, that
updated
didn't
on
tell me
breaking news and
anything.
top
All right, we are
stories on
live.
the NBC News app.
Breaking news, breaking news. We got a situation unfolding this morning in Maine. ICE shooting. Apparently, there's some sort of major situation, major crime scene set.
Does he get any? There's no footage of it happening, huh? No body cams. How do you know they don't have body cams? Maybe they just haven't been released yet. Is this a
Eye on it.
What do you think about what happened here?
I'm disgusted. This is horrible. I mean, we're the citizens of this country are literally being gunned down in the street for doing nothing.
If I don't know anything, you don't know anything. You don't know what he was doing. Why is a dude who's not involved fleeing the police? If he's a citizen and the cops are there to serve a warrant on someone else, why are you running? You only run if you're guilty. If you're a legal American citizen, cops kick in the door to arrest Gutierrez, your homeboy who you know is illegal. You do this. Say, okay, officer, you take him. I'm a citizen. He come over the fence. I came in legally. And you just sit there with your hands up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. And you don't end up dead. Cops are not coming to serve the warrant on him. Why is he running? I know why. Because he's a fucking criminal. That's why criminals, that's what they do when the cops come. They run. He wasn't doing anything. He just got gunned down for no reason. There's got to be a reason. Something happened. Even if the cops were in the wrong, something happened to set this off. The cops just didn't go in to serve a warrant on one guy and end up blasting another dude to death in his living room. If you believe that, you're a fucking idiot.
The color of their skin. It's
You're like this
disgusting.
girl.
It's absolutely horrific.
Only takes so much.
Or you just hate cops so much that you're blind. What do you think all these fucking illegal Mexicans or legal? I don't care if they're legal or illegal. These Juan Pablo Gutierrez, Jalandro, he's running from the cops. He's getting shot by cops. You think that's probably a good guy? What world do you live in? Watch, we're going to find out he had a giant skull tattooed on his face with a big old MS-13. And they're going to be like, he was a good man. He worked at the local dollar store. He helped all the children in the neighborhood. He was very good, man. You might cook me on my stream tonight. Look, if you've seen something I haven't seen yet, this is my first time looking at any of this. So if you have information I don't have yet, but I don't think you do. I think you're going to say, I don't like the police. I don't like ICE. I like illegal immigrants and criminals raping and killing all the white girls in my neighborhood. Okay. And also, I don't take nothing down. What are you talking about?
All right. So she says it's
okay. I need something better than JLR investigates. Is there any video? Is there no one else? Is there any video? ICE agents involved in fatal Biddeford shooting, lawmakers say. That doesn't. Oh, they're not going to let me read it. How is a local news? How is this local ass website not going to let me read their article? I'm not paying for this. Ridiculous. Leaves young man dead. One dead. A young man is dead following a shooting involving ICE in Biddeford. Incident happened on Monday around 7:30 a.m. at the intersection of Pool and Hill Streets. The Maine Immigrants' Rights Coalition and Presente say the victim was a 26-year-old Colombiano. Hey, Colombiano. Oh, he ran from the cops because he had a lot of that Colombian bang in his pocket. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen told Maine Senator Angus King that the man had been given an order to leave the country. He was reportedly in a vehicle, pulled out in the vehicle, and the term the secretary used was weaponize the vehicle and was shot by an ICE agent. Oh, same story as Renee Good. And we're going to argue over this again because people haven't figured out yet that you can't try to run over ICE agents. And you can't flee from the law. What I said to the secretary was we want a full, transparent, and open investigation on this matter. Senator King says apparently there is no body camera footage of the encounter. Body cameras were not on the agents, so we have no evidence of what occurred in this case. Good. I don't think the public needs to be seeing what these cops have to deal with every day. Sometimes you just got to take somebody out. Okay, maybe not. Maybe body cams are good. Okay. There's no CCTV footage or anything. Senator King said, we don't know the circumstance at this point, but my statement to Senate Secretary Mullen, I said, I'm going to say that you have committed to me that this investigation will be full, fair, and transparent. Can I say that? He said, yes, absolutely. Where the heck is my... Oh. It's veto time. Dude, Dusty's going to be freaking reacting to my news show. I feel honored. Not really. Dusty's going to be in the gang war at DebateCon. We're going to line up. We're going to squad up. It's going to be the West Side Story. It's going to be dang outsiders, greasers and socias. We're going to line up, squad up, gang bang. And you know what? If we start a giant gang war at DebateCon and the cops show up, and somebody gets hurt, that's our fault. That's not the cops' fault. Have we divided up colors yet? Dude, I think everybody on the side that I'm on is going to say red, but blue's my favorite color. I actually would be more affiliated with like Crips and GDs. I would be probably black or blue. But my team's going to want to wear red, so I think we're red. You guys are the blue side. For real though, cops should fuck off. Are you one of these freaking anti-law enforcement guys? The hell's wrong with you, Coco Shuko Papasango? I think my team's going to be the red team. No body cam. I can't find any. I don't see any video of this. Let me see. This is an hour and 41 minutes long. I'm not watching all this. It's probably not. It's just the live footage of the street when it happened.
Howdy.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Did you see there's a gold and diamond store? That means it's probably the Jays.
She was actually on her way to Washington this morning when the...
What the is that? This is from the news station. Newsman, better get on your job.
Okay, I'm in. Yeah, right here. Mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Okay. Great.
You're only in one ear, but hurry up. Come on.
Okay.
Cops give me a hard time, but some are cool.
They want me to send it up for the boxes
heroes.
first. Okay.
You want green? Hustle gang bang green.
They said.
Damn, that was a good pick. I didn't even think
Fatal
about
shooting
that.
from House Speaker Ryan Fecteau is from Biddeford. He confirmed that one person is dead following a shooting this morning involving ICE agents in Biddeford.
Where's my camera?
Governor Mills told us she has also been briefed on the shooting, but has not released.
There's no information on this. Is there any new information on this? This doesn't tell us anything.
Newly released surveillance footage by bystander video, as well as bystander video, which is shedding more light on last week's fatal ICE shooting in Houston of Mexican national Lorenzo.
If they show video, this is not live YouTube. This is for news and information purposes and comedy and satire and entertainment and all that good stuff. None of this is live. There are no pew-pews on my screen. This is from the news. MS Now. I don't think there's any video, though. Where is this alleged new video? Oh, here it is. Let's just watch the whole thing because I don't know any. And I know people are going to be debating this for the next 4 weeks. So there's just not a lot of information right now.
Gato Arrojo, the mayor of Houston, said the city's police chief will meet with FBI agents tomorrow, urging them to share evidence as demands grow for an independent investigation.
Are they really going to?
I had some asshole correctional guards, some COs. I've had some asshole COs. But I've never had a problem while getting arrested by a cop.
To cover this up? Are they going to?
And I've ran from the cops and got caught after running from them. And they were still cool, on foot and in car. And they were still cool. If you're cool when you get caught, you don't try to fight them and stuff. You won't get shot.
Keep covering up killings on American streets. Are they going to do that in Texas? Are they going to do that in Houston? Are they going to do that in a place where Ken Paxton is going to have to go around the state justifying?
Remember when all the stuff was happening in Minnesota and all the ICE agents were in Minnesota and they were protesting and they were blocking vehicles and they were getting run over and shot in the streets because they're a bunch of fucking retards interfering with federal investigations and deportations. And by the way, ICE or the DHS, Homeland Security, they have the highest level of legal power as law enforcement. When people are complaining about the Fourth Amendment, immigration does not follow the same rules. Yeah, you're not, if you're assumed to be an illegal immigrant, you don't have a Fourth Amendment right. They can just run up in your house and get you. We read all those codes and everything on the stream. Shit, what was I saying? Oh, so everybody was freaking out about Minnesota, and they're like, well, if the highest concentration of immigrants, of illegal immigrants, is in Texas and Florida, why are there ICE agents here in Minnesota? What the people didn't understand is that we were doing way more deportations from Texas and Florida the whole time. ICE agents didn't have to drive around in the streets and pick up illegals because the cities aren't sanctuary cities. They're not blue Democrat cities, or they may be blue, like Dallas and stuff, maybe blue cities, but they're not sanctuary cities. They're not that blue. And they work with people, so most of the deportations happen from the jail or the prisons, county, state, local, whatever. They would get them that way. But they also would pick up people in Texas and Florida, but people weren't following their vehicles with signal chat calls and harassing them and blowing whistles in their ear and blocking traffic to keep them from moving all day. You didn't see that happening in Texas and Florida because that shit's not going to fly in Texas and in Florida. We were deporting from Texas and Florida more than we were in Minnesota and LA and Chicago and New York. We were deporting more from Florida and Texas, and there was no problems. Now this happens. People are going to lose their damn minds. I guarantee both these people tried to flee in their vehicles. And maybe these ICE agents, they saw it happen with Pretti. They saw no investigation, and they thought, now they're thinking, okay, from now on, if somebody tries to run us over, we just kill them. And maybe that's a bad thing that they all have that in their head now, if that's the case. But people need to stop running, trying to run over ICE agents. Stop doing that. You won't get shot. Also, I don't trust that Lorenzo Salgado is a nice citizen.
The killing of people in the streets of Texas.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Demands are growing for an independent investigation. MS Now reporter Britt Miller has more.
Calls for justice and accountability continue this morning after protests spilled into the streets of Houston over the weekend. The community outcry comes days after the deadly shooting of Lorenzo Salgado Araujo,
oh my God,
the father of 3 killed by...
Okay, he doesn't look like a gangbanger.
After the deadly shooting of Lorenzo...
Nice house. Father of 3, polo shirt on, some gray hair, doesn't got gang tattoos all over him. Listen, if this turns out to be a total mistake or a blatant outright murder, I'll say that's wrong. I'll condemn it. But from what I've seen in the past, when this stuff happens, everything the media tells us is bullshit. And these guys were probably doing something wrong.
Lorenzo Salgado Araujo, the father of 3 killed by an ICE agent on his way to work Tuesday. Now local leaders say they're preparing for the next steps,
a father killed on his way to work.
A national vigil.
Now listen, guys, that's the same shit. Before you get all like, oh man, that's kind of messed up. That sounds really messed up. Remember what they told us about Renee Good? She was just a mother who just dropped her kids off at school. No, she wasn't. She was following and harassing them all day long. She was part of a signal chat groups. She was a damn domestic terrorist. So don't believe this narrative that they're just telling you off the rip. Now, it could be true. Not saying that it's totally for sure untrue, but it's probably untrue.
Possible legal action and a congressional hearing.
First and foremost, to continue to highlight these militarization and excessive use of force tactics.
There's also a unified push for an independent investigation as the Department of Homeland Security leads the shooting investigation and the FBI looks into the, quote, potential assault on a federal law enforcement officer. But just hours after the shooting, DHS claimed, without providing evidence, Salgado Araujo weaponized his
all the claims you've made are without providing evidence.
Vehicle trying to run over an ICE officer who then shot in self-defense. A spokesperson later...
I'm sorry, but that story makes sense. The story that he was just an innocent guy driving on his way to work and ICE just went, execute him! Do. That doesn't make sense.
Told MS Now, ICE officers saw a white van with an individual who looked like their target.
They also said that they were actually targeting 2 other men of Guatemalan descent, but all of the men in
we're
that
getting the
truck
guats out.
Mexican descent, Mexican nationals. A brown man, a Latino man, driving a work truck in a predominantly Latino community. They were casing the community. They were hunting Latinos that morning.
Casing the community, hunting Latinos. See, that's the language. And I guess the other side would say, well, the language you say, they're all rapists and murderers and blah, blah. I don't say they're all rapists and murderers, but if they're illegal, get them out. And if you live in a highly Latino area and you know you're surrounded by illegals and you know ICE is looking for illegals, carry your freaking ID on you. Show them your driver's license. If they detain you, you go sit in detention, you get let out, and then you sue. Sue somebody. I don't know. Do something. Fix y'all's communities and stop harboring illegal immigrants.
Surveillance videos obtained by MS Now show some of what happened in the moments before the shooting. At 6:46 a.m., you see the white van jump the curb to take a left turn. One ICE SUV continues straight while the other follows the van.
They're in a high-speed chase with the officers. He just flew through the light. Did he fly through the light? Okay, hold on. These cars are stopped.
Before the shooting. At 6:40.
We need Midwest Safety's foot distance coverage to figure out what speed this car goes through this intersection at. As it jumps the curb, almost hits this truck.
6 a.m., you see the white van jump the curb to take a left turn. One ICE SUV continues straight while the other follows the van before closely driving alongside it. Seconds later, the white van does a U-turn, stops briefly, and continues down the street.
It was a chase. He was taking part in a chase. And when you're in a chase, you're endangering everybody on the road. A lot of chases end in people dying.
A chase, if you will, just around a couple of blocks. And there's no damage at all to the front of the vehicle.
Oh, why didn't they say that in the opening bit? Because, people with short attention spans aren't going to watch this full thing. They're going to watch a minute of it. They're going to hear the newscaster say, ICE agents shot this Guatemala man while he was on his way to work. You left out the high-speed chase part.
Side of the vehicle, to the side panels of the vehicles, you can clearly see that it wasn't used to ram anything at all.
And we have yet to see video of the actual shooting. But in the moments after, a bloodied Salgado Araujo is seen on the ground with agents standing over him.
A life was lost, and it was unfortunately.
Oh my God! Now we got this guy about to cry on the stream all these guys are going to start crying.
Did not deserve it.
Lorenzo's son, Ronaldo.
Oh, that's his son. Never mind. I'm sorry. I was wrong. I need to watch before I speak sometimes. That's his son. He has every reason to be crying. I was wrong. I take that back. I was wrong. Sometimes I speak before I think and watch and find out more. Okay. It's okay that his son is crying. My bad. I thought this was just a news guy.
Salgado, overwhelmed with emotion, telling MS Now his father lived in the U.S. for 35 years and was in the process of getting his work permit.
This is a man who provided for us, who provided for my mom.
This is still emotional hostage taking. We're supposed to automatically side with the victim. We shouldn't. We don't even know if we should be calling him a victim yet. But they want us to automatically side with him. They show his son. His son's upset. I understand his son's upset, but that don't work on me. That works on women. Unfortunately, women form consensus in this country.
Promised my mom, that she would never have to work because he got us. So that's how I want the world to remember my dad.
And he says right now the family is focused on making funeral arrangements. Meantime, the 3 other men inside that van were detained by ICE during this incident. One of them was Salgado Araujo's brother. Back to you.
Yeah, so they go into this neighborhood in Houston, and as we heard there, quote, hunting Latinos.
Yeah. You heard that, but that doesn't mean that's what the fuck they were doing. I'm trying not to cuss. Trying to cuss less. It's just so, oh my God, these talking heads on these shows are so annoying. Oh man. And they were hunting Latinos. They were going through the neighborhood hunting Latinos, and they just shot an innocent Guatemalan on his way to work. And then immediately after that, they show a high-speed chase through traffic.
A case of mistaken identity, first of all, and then the DHS. It's just like, do they just have an automatic push key that every time someone is gunned down and killed in the streets of America, do they just push a button and it just spits out a statement that says they were weaponizing their vehicle when, again, it was a lie with Renee Good. Just they were lying through their teeth with Renee Good. They gunned.
You saw him blow through an intersection, hit the curb, almost take out the truck, and then pull a random U-turn in the middle of the road. You don't think he probably crashed into an officer's vehicle at some point?
Her down from the side looked like, I don't know. I don't know that we'll ever have a hearing on whether they murdered or not. But
we'll never know.
Yeah, they swept up the investigation. So they shot her in cold blood through the side of the window when she posed absolutely.
See, shot her in cold blood after she hit the cop. What are you talking about?
No threat. And then they did the lie about weaponizing the vehicle. So idiots on other channels could go, oh, they weaponized the vehicle, when she didn't weaponize the vehicle.
Yes,
and
she
they're
did.
spreading the same lie here, weaponizing the vehicle, when there is absolutely no evidence that ever happened. And remember, they had to backtrack because they lied about Renee Good. They had to backtrack because they lied about Alex Preddy. And they're going to have to backtrack because
I haven't backtracked on any of that. Oh, he's talking about the first statements they made. I don't see any problems with those statements. She did try. I'm getting rage baited. I know. It's working on me. It's working. They're getting me. Hey, all I know is if there's more protests, then shoot, that's content, baby. We'll go fly the drone at the protest.
because they're lying here. That's all they seem to do after they gun down people in the streets of America that have the same concept.
Damn, we're going to be in Dallas in a week. 7 days. No, not 7 days. Like 9 days. A little more than a week. Shit, I still got stuff I got to get. I It's coming up. I wonder if there's going to be any protests in Dallas during DebateCon weekend. Me and the boys go check out the protest. That would be crazy.
Constitutional rights
Correct.
that you and I have. And if you don't believe me,
okay,
read the Constitution.
This is so we really don't have a lot of information on either one. But I'm sure people will be talking about this for a while, so let's see what more information comes out. If I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong, but what I saw from the only evidence we have is I saw a dude taking cops on a chase through crowded city streets. And then I see him bust a U-turn in the middle of the road. If he smashed into another cop car, if he hit the side of the cop car and they see or the ICE vehicle and there's an ICE agent in the car and he hits it and they reach out their window and start shooting, a little gangster, maybe not the proper procedure, but don't try to run people over in your car. How about that? There's no body cam footage. There's no dash cam footage. It may have just not been released yet. I'm sure within the next couple days, we'll probably get dash cam footage and all sorts of other stuff. But anyway, that's that for that segment. The mystery of the unsolved ICE shootings tonight. Unsolved mysteries. Okay, let's wrap up here. I'm not going to spend too much time on this Tyler Robinson trial because we covered it last week. And then on Friday, I covered some of it. But from KPMG, what are the main takeaways that we get here? Robinson said he regretted shooting. His roommate told prosecutors. So what we get, first we get a video filled with a bunch of footage, and everybody's like, oh my God, look at all this new evidence. And it was all the stuff that we had seen already. If you were paying attention, I saw all of that footage already. When he's running across the roof, when he jumps off the roof, when he's walking through the parking lot with the weird limp, when he goes up the staircase with the weird limp. We get all of that in the first day. And then they're arguing about a enhanced version of it that has zoom ins and Madden style circles drawn and arrows directing your attention. They did end up showing that, but they didn't show it to the public. There were some, somebody had their laptop open and it was showing, and somebody got some leaked images of the video from that. People like Brandon Tatum and who else? Other people were like, oh, this is damning. What's his name? Benny Johnson. They're saying this is the most damning evidence. This guarantees Tyler did, but it's all the same stuff we had already seen. There's just zoom ins, AI enhancements, circles on faces and stuff. People are like, that's an AI picture. Yeah, it's an AI enhanced image of this image right here. They tell you that. It's not like it's not them trying to trick you. Then what happened? Then we get the Lance interview, which was very odd, which I think he's complicit in the killing of Charlie Kirk, but maybe since he turned witness and snitched, that's his deal, is he's not going to get implicated in it. I want to know what's up with these Discord groups. I want people's names in these Discord groups released. I want to know everybody he was talking to. Because if there is a deeper network of domestic terrorists in the form of 764, Antifa, this vein of radical nihilistic extremists, NREs, nihilistic radicalist extremists, whatever it is. I want these people found. The way he carved on his bullets is a very common trope amongst 764 killers, school shooters who are also usually in 764, Antifa types. The Antifa, the All of it. It's all tied together. Get them. They're domestic terrorists. Shut them down. I think 764 and Antifa are already both labeled domestic terrorists. So anyway, I think we need to expose them. But Lance Twiggs gets on, has a video with the investigator, his interview with the investigator, and some weird things were said in there, like he gave him the Dremel to carve the carvings into the bullets. That was something new that I didn't know. A month before, he gives him a Dremel to carve messages into bullets for hunting deer. Catch this fascist for a deer? That don't make sense, Tyler. That don't make sense, Lance. Other new evidence that I didn't know was that the towel had both of their DNA on it. It was like their nut rag or something. They bleeped that part out in court, but I'm assuming that's what they were redacting, is that it was semen on the towel. I don't know that for sure. That's speculation. But there was more of Lance Twiggs' DNA on the towel than there was Tyler's. So probably Tyler's a catcher. Lance is a pitcher. He got more residue on that cleanup towel. Ugh. Gross.
I am not gay. I have relationships with women and sex with men.
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.
That's the full clip. See, a lot of people are using that clip now. I've had that for years, but that's the full clip. Okay. A lot of people don't know the full clip. Lance is a pivotal witness for prosecutors, and not only for the alleged conversation described in the interview. The state has also pointed to text messages that say Twiggs and Robinson exchanged hours after the shooting, arguing Robinson's alleged text account to a confession. And I believe those texts were old too, or at least I had heard of texts. So maybe that was the first time we saw them. You're the one who did. No, this was all old news. You're the one who did it, right? I am. I'm sorry. Yeah, the text messages were not new information either. I remember Candace was losing her mind about the damn text messages, because saying, why did he write it in this weird way? If you've ever talked to these freaking furry weirdo people, they talk like that. They think their life is like Game of Thrones or something. They think their life is a fictional story. Oh, hello, my lady. Hello, my fair lady. They'll talk with weird accents that aren't what they talk like. They have fake Tourette's. These people are weird. They write weird. They talk weird. They think they're like fancy. They ain't fancy. They're gay. So anyway, that's all the new evidence. Day 5 was slow. Day 4 was good. Day 1 and 2 were all right. I think day 3 and 5 were slow. 4 was pretty action-packed. That's where we hear the Lance Twiggs testimony. It wasn't technically a testimony. It was an interview. But so all that happens. Now the hearing has adjourned until September. Here, let me just read why. A preliminary hearing concluded Friday for the man accused of killing conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Prosecutors aim to show they have enough evidence against Tyler Robinson to proceed to trial. The hearing, and they do. The hearing will resume September 1st, when both sides will make their final arguments. The long break is intended to give the attorneys time to write legal briefs. So they have to do legal briefs on everything that was covered, write their final statements. The judge's mind is probably already made up, but that day they're going to show up, give the legal briefs, all the paperwork, turn it in, make their final arguments, and the judge is going to make his decision in September, which September 1st will be almost 1 year, 10 days before the 1 year, 1 year anniversary of Charlie's death. And Erica, the family, the victim's family, they're all pushing for this to be as speedy as possible. But if the preliminary is concluded in September 1st, we're probably not getting a start of a trial, a real trial, until early, mid 2027. So still a while off. I'll keep you guys updated, but I showed the interview of Lance Twiggs in another stream. Yeah, I'm not going to show all these videos again. We've been through all this, so I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Defense casts doubt on DNA evidence as week-long Charlie Kirk trial ends. On the final day of hearing, the defense team tried to deflate the strength of the DNA evidence. The state, we watched that too on Friday. We watched a little bit of that live. The state says links Robinson to the rifle allegedly used to kill Kirk. Can't attribute it to any person, defense attorney Michael Burke said in a Provo courtroom. Can't state it's infallible. Can't state there's a 0 error rate. And you can't state that it's a source connected with any person. That's always the way the DNA evidence works. They're not allowed to give it a 0% error rate. So they can't say 100% for sure that it's anybody. That's always the case with DNA. That's why they rank it on a scale, a number scale of how valid it is. But they cannot give it a 0 or a 100. So bringing that up is a trivial truth that is the case with every DNA and every trial. Anyway, so that's that. That's it for the main story news. Now, dude, why does it do this? Rapid fire news and reels. I got a lot of funny reels, not a lot of rapid fire news, but in rapid fire, we're actually going to talk about some not so rapid news. We got Conor McGregor, the downfall of Conor McGregor. We're going to give some, after we've had time to sit on it. I'm going to give my thoughts on the Conor McGregor situation. And then also increased tensions in Iran. We've been bombing Iran. China's not happy, allegedly. Blockade on the Strait of Hormuz has gone back. We'll go over the Iran updates also today in Rapid Fire. But I got a bunch of funny reels for you. Let me get this set up real quick. All right. Here's some throwbacks. You guys remember Joe Biden and Kamala? Here's a little throwback for you. When I feel down, I just remember what Joe Biden once said.
And Joan Shingang, I'm going to pronounce it right, Shanga Kawawa. Shingang, I'm going to pronounce it right,
Shanga Koala. Whenever I feel down, I just remember that inspirational quote from Joe Biden. Thank you, Joe. All right. How about Kamala? This is Kamala.
You.
Kamala Harris talks to her baby.
Okay, I have to acknowledge you as for being a good boy. Okay, because you really are, all right? You are like a star. And there are stars, right? There are stars, and then there's the moon. And there's a difference, all right? You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying, right? And you land on a star, and you find yourself on the moon. We've been to the moon.
We've been to the moon.
We've been. And as far as something that I've done wrong, well, I think that being, if extra attention on you means wrong, then, you know, I mean, take it for being a parent. Okay, we all made mistakes.
That's a pretty good Kamala impression. That Kamala impression's on point right there. We have landed on the moon.
Being a parent, but you, my son, you are meant to be here. Everybody matters, and we're gonna give away toys to all the kids and all the moons, because every moon deserves a toy. All right?
Toys on the moon. That is something Kamala would say, though.
Okay. Okay, you have a pacifier in your mouth, and I don't, and that makes me your mom. All right?
All right. Pretty epic Kamala impression right there. Is she white? Okay. All right. What else we got? Parrot and Ferret. Parrot, ferret, carrot. Parrot and a ferret eating a pear and a carrot. Listen to this. This is crazy.
A parrot and a ferret sharing a pear and a carrot on the ferret's parents' terrace in Paris. The glaring ferret's parents embarrassed. You see, ferrets of barons heir apparent, but the ferret caring had merit, and air up there was rarest with parrot. So pairs with parrot he cherished as much as parrot cherished sharing his carrots with ferret.
As much as parrot cherished sharing carrots and parrots with ferret. Nice to see Eminem still has Haley's first science project. And the ferret's parents have a real good marriage. Nice. That was pretty cool. Never again. Don't you do a dang word tower, Marilyn. I will not put up with it. Look at this. When you're in your 40s and still buy stupid-ish. Play. Oh, is it not going to play? It's not playing. Oh, the Instagram ones aren't going to play. I can't get the Instagram ones to play. Wah. Okay. I can't get the Instagram ones to play. That sucks because I have a Connor Instagram one. Let's move on. We'll talk about Connor. Let's talk about Connor. All right. Conor McGregor. So apparently, this is him in the locker room right before the fight the other night. Allegedly. He looks, he's throwing kicks, he's jumping. Yeah, but you're not hitting air. What happens when you hit air and your leg keeps spinning, Connor? Max is just going to stand there and let you kick him. He looks slow, though. Even here, he looks slow and not... Like, is he planning his opening move? Now, this could be AI, guys. He doesn't look in the zone. So apparently that's minutes before going into the ring. This is not going to play. Crap. Hold on. So that's what happened. Oh my gosh, it's so bad. Evening. If you guys know, you know. The most anticipated fight. Well, if we get rid of the White House card, the most anticipated fight in a long time was this fight. And I would say this is the biggest upset. The biggest and worst upset for a fight in the history of the UFC. Not an upset because the guy that wasn't supposed to win won. An upset because for Max it's bad. Like, I'm sure Max put in his training. He wanted to show people what he's done. He can't do it. Like, Max is probably upset about this. Max is probably pissed. Never. Max is done. Oh, my God. Torn up. This is so bad. What happened?
A clash between two legends. Introducing first the...
This is the face-off. I'm not going to play that. The Conor McGregor comeback imploded. His first fight in 5 years. He appeared to suffer a right leg injury. My brother sent me a meme. I'm not going to show it, but yeah, he runs out, throws a spinning back kick, like a in the air roundhouse spinning back kick, and misses, hits the air. So his leg keeps going. He lands on his foot kind of sideways and at an angle, and his leg does something weird. They're saying his knee blew out, or it was some sort of ACL, some sort of tendon tear, meniscus. I don't know what all the medical words are, but he tried to keep fighting. He couldn't keep fighting. Max didn't know what to do. Max is standing up looking at him like, I don't know, man. He doesn't know what to do. And finally, he lets McGregor stand up, stops ground pounding him a little bit, lets him stand up. McGregor, goes in a couple times, stops, and you're like, oh no, something's wrong. And then he tries to step up, and his leg hurts, and he drops, and he says, no. And the ref calls off the fight. That's what happened. I wonder if we have his tweet in here. This is him immediately after the fight, limping. I mean, it wasn't so bad that he wasn't able to walk out of the ring.
Listen, everybody who knows anything about the fight business, and it's been a big topic of discussion leading up to this fight. 5 years off in this sport is rough.
Plus, with a lot of alcohol and cocaine and steroids and lady time, women make the legs weak, Connor.
And like you said, great card, unbelievable. I mean, the Patty Pimblett thing right before, you just feel it all in the air. Here we go. I mean, I was expecting at least a one-round war, or, who knew what Connor was capable of as far as cardio or whatever else after a 5-year layoff. And, well, there you go. I mean, we're assuming blown ACL. I'm no doctor, but that's what I figured when I saw it, and doctors think the same thing, too.
I was going to ask you, have you had a chance to talk to Connor? It sounds like you talked to the medical team. Have you talked to Connor? Do we know exactly the extent of what happened?
I haven't. Is he coming out here? We'll see. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think he went out there.
I think he left the arena,
Then the answer is no. We'll find out when he gets an MRI.
Max said right away, hey, man, well, now we got to set this thing up for a trilogy, right? I mean, is there any desire from that, from your point? I mean, you know promoting better than anyone. Does that even make sense to do a trilogy right now? Or the way that ended, do you have to go a different direction?
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't know. You got to take some time. And I don't know if you know this or not, but I don't like talking about making fights the night of the fight. But
he always says that, and they always ask him. So on Connor's X, we're seeing I was so sharp and so ready for this fight. I'm not doing a good Connor. Proper number 12. I was so sharp and so ready for this fight. I cannot believe what has happened. This is not a good Connor. I can't believe what has happened. The talk of me being off while in the fight is so nonsense. Is nonsense? The talk of me being off while walking into the fight is nonsense. I was calm, ready, and confident. I am in shock what was taking place. The devil is literally staring at me right in my face. I am here, not engaging. I will be at church tomorrow. I will overcome this. I will not be deterred. I will return. Not a very good Connor. Is she doing word towers? Don't do word towers. I told you I hate word towers. Screwing up the recordings as usual, Marilyn. My head gasket is gone, destroyed. I had no injuries going into this fight. I was throwing kicks, planted, and jumping all throughout camp, as well as backstage before the fight. This came out of nowhere. I am beyond dark here. I can only describe it as hell. So, Conor McGregor's in a dark place. Hopefully he doesn't cascade back into depravity because of this. But he says, I will go to church tomorrow. I will return. I read those out of order. I should have read the other one first. And he's just putting up scriptures and stuff. I believe in one God, the Father Almighty, maker of heaven and earth. So it hasn't driven him away from Christ, I guess. But yeah, it's going to be a rough time for him. A lot of people coming out with conspiracies already. different theories that it was just a setup for them to both walk out with a good payday. Max looked totally shocked and confused. If this was some scam to just walk away with tens of millions of dollars, then it was on Connor. Max had no idea. But it's just crazy. I wanted to play this video. Oh, I got it. It turned into a dance-off pretty fast. Damn, I wish the fight would have went like this. You throw up the kick. If he was better at calisthenics, he could have fought with his hands. He should have fought on his dang hands. Anyway, that's that. Sad ending. We were all very upset when it happened. Will this one play? No. But that's that.
Something is seriously...
Wait, we read all his tweets and all that? I don't think Conor McGregor got injured in the fight. We're not going to watch this, but I have it in here. I watched it for later. A lot of people saying he was hurt before the fight. A lot of people saying he wasn't even hurt and it was just a big setup. So, I don't know. What's Sean's reaction to it? Watch, we're going to watch Sugar Sean's reaction to it.
He's better work. In the first round, he's getting him out of there. It's gonna be bad. Oh! No way! No way! Just rolled his ankle. Oh! No way! No, bro. What? He just fucked. No! Stop it.
This is how we all felt.
That did not happen. No. Restart. Repause. Rewind. What? Let him up.
Ground and pound.
What, bro? No.
Max did hit him a good amount of times while he was on the ground. Sugar ankles.
No way. No. Oh, he's ankle. No. Are you kidding me?
Slipped again the third time.
No.
And Max looks at the ref like, what do I do, man?
No.
He's not doing anything. What do I do? I can't fight him.
No.
I don't want to hurt him. He's not doing anything.
No.
And he walks off.
No. I can't even watch it back. No. Am I getting pranked right now? Fucking called it. Fucking first round finish. 30 seconds or whatever. I feel like I'm in shock. He's better work.
It was crazy. This is all the people's reactions to it. Everybody was freaking out.
Slowly. Max is like, look at his fucking leg, man. His leg is gone. Max doesn't even want to fight him.
Connor looks at, glances, and now it's right.
The fight is over.
The fight is fucking over.
Man.
A minute 6 in, McGregor had to have been injured entering the fight.
Izzy was happy because Izzy bet on Max. He's like, that's us. Hey. You're lame for not reading my super chat. Oh. I didn't even notice it. Well, I can't read it now because King deleted it. It won't let me unhighlight it. What'd you say in the super chat? Well, stop spamming the chat. Well, shit. Well, thank you for the membership and the super chat. You guys gonna let Marilyn be the only one sending super chats in this stream? Marilyn, this channel is funded and sponsored by viewers like Marilyn. Marilyn's keeping the lights on. You guys aren't doing anything. At least hit the like button. All right, that's all I got on the McGregor stuff. Before we'll wrap up with the Iran stuff. We'll wrap up with the Iran stuff, and we're going to first go to a video. We're going to talk about heat. We talked about the heat wave. We have a heat wave here in America, and we have wildfires in Paris. So the heat is on. The end is near. The end is nigh. I'm just kidding. That's what you get for spamming. Yeah, don't do word towers. I hate word towers. But it's hot outside, and this is how you know. When you give a rattlesnake a drink of water, and he just comes up and slurps up the water and doesn't attack you, that's how you know it's hot outside. Even though this video is from 4 years ago. Watch this. That's a rattlesnake in a hole. And this guy's giving it some water from a water bottle. Look at a little rattlesnake drinking. Drinking some water off the rock. It's 110 degrees outside, and that snake is snakes are cold-blooded, which doesn't mean that their blood is cold. It means their blood changes according to the temperature outside around them. That's why reptiles use heat rocks and stuff like that, and they lay down and bask in the water and in the sun and blah, blah, blah. This snake is cooking. Boy. Look at a snake drinking water off the rock. That's nice. That thing maybe hasn't drank in days. Don't start rattling again. You got water. Oh, shit. That bitch is gonna strike. That bitch is gonna strike! Okay, he doesn't want no more water. How did that little tongue catch water? That's crazy.
Drink. Okay, the rest is mine. Look at
that. Crazy. Anyway, so it's hot outside. Salt Lake City listen to this. Salt Lake City sets new highest temperature ever in 152 years of record keeping. Highest temperature ever in 152 years. So it's not the highest temperature ever. You don't know what the highest temperature ever is because you've only been keeping records for 152 years. I thought the world was 55 trillion billion years old. 152 years don't mean nothing. That don't tell you any information. Highest temperature in 152 years. Yeah, a snake is still going to be a snake. That snake will still bite your ass. You gave him water. Now he's got energy. Now he's looking for food. Give a mouse a cookie. He's going to ask for some milk. 109 degrees on Sunday, breaking a 1960 record. High pressure systems cause extreme heat with warnings issued across northern Utah. Monsoonal storms may bring relief and new risks, including flash floods. So we've been hit with a drought all winter. Now we get a heat wave. Plus we had fires everywhere. We got bad inversion because of the fires. And now we're going to get a monsoon. Now, this was earlier in the week. I don't know if it's happened yet or if it was southern Utah, but Salt Lake City has not gotten any rain. So I don't know when this monsoon is coming, but we might be having a dang monsoon coming. It's okay. We need the water. We need the water. Yeah, no? Driven by, I already read that, strong high-pressure systems parked north of the Four Corners. It has allowed for a warm-up that has rivaled other heat domes Salt Lake City and Utah have experienced over the past few years. Utah's capital city matched its all-time heat record 3 times between 2021 and 2022, and we broke it this year. It's global warming, guys. I thought it was global cooling. Then it was global warming, then it was global cooling, then it was climate change. Now we're going back to global warming. We're starting the cycle over again. And we'll keep fear-mongering people about the end of the world coming from climate change for the next 1,000 years. But meanwhile, while it's hot out here in Salt Lake City and rattlesnakes are getting drinks of water, in Paris, we have wildfires. Wildfires raging near Paris as heat wave scorches Europe. So they got fires and heat waves over there. We got fires and heat waves over here. What is Salt Lake? Like the American version of France? Let's see the video.
60 kilometers from Paris, an unprecedented blaze burns through the forest of Fontainebleau. The fire, which broke out on Sunday afternoon, has already raced through 800 hectares, prompting officials to rush 2 firefighting planes to the region for the first time ever.
This is an exceptional situation. It's the first time that water bombers have carried out drops over the forest of Fontainebleau. This fire is particularly difficult to fight.
I've never heard them called water bombers. I guess it's pretty accurate, but never heard that.
Because of the wind, which is driving it into a forested area that is very rocky and very difficult.
Around 15 homes have been evacuated in the village of Vaudouet as firefighters sought to hold.
It's rain and ashes. It was rain and ashes over here the last week, 2 weeks ago.
The blaze back near several other towns in the area. Often dubbed the lungs of Greater Paris, the Fontainebleau forest is the largest in the Île-de-France region, spanning 25,000 hectares. In a post on X, French Interior Minister Laurent Nunez praised the response of the emergency services.
I would like to commend the exemplary dedication of our firefighters and civil protection pilots who have been working tirelessly since this afternoon to combat the numerous wildfires and forest fires.
So France is on fire during a heat wave. Utah's on fire during a heat wave.
U.S. forces have...
It's getting hot out here, boys. It's hot out here for a pimp. All right. Last little bit here. We have increasing tensions in Iran. Peace deals aren't working. Nothing's working. People say, well, you shouldn't have attacked him in the first place. We should just let him build nukes. And also, hold on, let me find this video real quick. Watch later. Oh, I have to cover that too. Here we go.
The U.S. conducting...
So, before I show you this, we'll watch this video from Fox. Now, we know Fox, Fox is biased too. Fox is going to try to say pro-Trump things. So we'll take all this, any wartime news, I take it with a grain of salt because I don't know what's real and what's fake. But this is Fox from a day ago. Actually, before we do this, we'll look at the new attacks. So this is from a day ago. Let me see the dates on these. These are all July 13th. Okay. U.S. launches new strikes on Iran and Tehran attacks U.S. allies in the Gulf. So basically throughout the week, we've been increasingly attacking Iran more. The peace treaty not working. We've launched new strikes on Iran from NPR here, and Tehran is attacking our allies. The U.S. and Iran exchanged fire for the third weekend in a row, with strikes stretching into Monday as Iran responded to U.S. attacks by targeting U.S. allies in the region. The back and forth attacks came as Iran announced the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, and days after President Trump declared that the ceasefire between the two countries was over. The latest volleys of strikes began on Saturday when Iran fired at and disabled a commercial ship passing through the strait and said it was closing the vital waterway completely. The U.S. retaliated, striking multiple sites in Iran overnight. Iran responded to those U.S. attacks on Sunday, launching strikes against Jordan, Qatar, Kuwait, and Oman. The United Arab Emirates also said it came under missile fire. That prompted another round of U.S. strikes on Iran Sunday evening, which the U.S. Central Command said it had completed by 10:30 Eastern time. So we start Iran says we're closing the waterway. You're breaking the ceasefire. So we attack them, then they attack a bunch of our allies and surrounding countries, American bases in those countries. And so the bombing continues. From Al Jazeera, the Muslim news network, U.S. launches new attacks. Here's what happened today, which is yesterday, the 13th of July, 2026. The UAE said Iran targeted 2 of its oil tankers in the Strait of Hormuz, killing an Indian national crew member and injuring 8 others. Trump said that the U.S. is hitting Iran very heavy tonight after telling reporters Tehran wanted further negotiations after a deal was reached. Iranian media reported explosions in the southern cities of Jam and Bandar Abbas, as well as on Kish Island. Iran state broadcaster IRIB reported that Iran launched attacks on a hostile vessel of the American enemy and U.S. military targets in Kuwait. The U.S. military central command said it will enforce a reimposed U.S. blockade on Iranian ports from 20 GMT on Thursday. So we're putting the blockade back up. They want to control it. We'll control them controlling it. And we control basically the world's energy supply. Nobody gets energy from Iran. And then Guardian, who's surprisingly going to let me read the article. Trump renews Iran blockade and again threatens to take control of Strait of Hormuz. Now, before I read this, let's watch this video. Apparently, according to Fox, activity has been detected at Iran's nuclear site. But this could be something that they're just putting out to justify the attacks we're doing and make people think that it's not just about the Strait of Hormuz, that it's actually about the fake nukes.
Another round of strikes on Iran with U.S. Central Command writing on X, quote, CENTCOM forces struck Iranian military air defense systems, coastal radar sites, missile and drone capabilities, and small boats using U.S. fighter aircraft, naval vessels, one-way attack aerial drones, and one-way attack sea drones for the first time. The Strait of...
We're just testing out our new futuristic weaponry on Iran. It's really what's happening here. And I don't care about the nukes as much as I do about the energy.
Hormuz is a vital maritime corridor for global trade. Iran does not control it. The strikes follow new satellite images reportedly showing Iran may be working to rebuild their nuclear sites, despite strong warnings from President Trump.
Because they don't care. They don't think we're not watching them with satellites all day?
Fox News contributor and former CIA station chief Dan Hoffman joins me now. Dan, good morning to you. And this satellite imagery shows signs the Iranian regime is rebuilding its suspected nuclear sites at Pickaxe Mountain and Parchin, which intel agencies have long suspected of housing nuclear enrichment activities deep underground. So the good news is that we know about this. The bad news is obvious. What do you make of these satellite images and what this...
Bomb it.
It dictates or indicates to us about Iran's desire to rebuild its nuclear facilities?
Yeah, look, the satellite imagery is...
You get 5 minutes in timeout, Marilyn, for repeating the same dumb crap over and over again. If you want to do that crap on some Antifa channel.
Disturbing. It's only one piece of our intelligence collection. We also rely on our human sources and SIGINT collection, that's communications between Iranian officials as well. And so I'm sure that President Trump is receiving a detailed picture about the extent to which Iran is seeking to rearm and reconstitute their nuclear program.
Look at all the nuclear facilities they have. Bonab, Ramsar, Tehran, Parchin, Fordo, Arak, Natanz, Sagan, Yazd, Gashin, Isfahan, and Bushehr.
That's why they're fighting. That's why the Strait of Hormuz is a flashpoint. Iran isn't just fighting to disrupt global trade in the Strait of Hormuz. They're doing it to protect their nuclear program, and they also want to protect their proxy terrorists like Hezbollah. They see an opportunity, they think, to reduce or eliminate U.S. influence in the region, and that would allow them to dominate the Gulf states. Their goal is to destroy Israel and obviously they want to attack the United States in doing so.
So when it comes to the Strait, two senior Iranian sources told Reuters on July 8th that they consider its control of the Strait to be important leverage and that giving up such control would be tantamount to surrender. So they're not giving up the Strait of Hormuz. What should our next move be?
Bomb the shit out of them.
They're not giving up the Strait and fighting for the Iran Revolutionary Guard Corps, which is really in charge of this hardcore regime. It's the oxygen on which they rely, really, to stay in power. Negotiations have led nowhere.
Right. They need that trade as much as we and China and everybody else needs that trade. China's getting pissed because they're the largest purchaser of oil, or they do the most trade for the oil, and a large percent of their energy relies on that oil from Iran. So they're not happy, but they're not doing anything about it either. They ain't gonna do nothing.
And President Trump acknowledged that during his most recent comments over the weekend. The United States really needs to achieve escalation dominance. We need to open the Strait on our own.
No, I time her out all the time because she just annoys me.
And keep it open independently. There's some questions about whether there might be two routes, whether the Iranians would seek to have a route on their side of the border and maybe there would be an open route in Oman. I'm not so sure that that would solve the challenge that we face, however. And again, Iran is using asymmetric warfare.
Look, they struggled to block this 2-mile section. We blockade from Oman to Pakistan. We just blockade the whole Gulf of Oman.
They're using their drones and what's left of their missile capability to disrupt trade, and we've got to put a stop to that.
So Axios, Stan, has this piece about how Senator Lindsey Graham spent his final weeks working on this ambitious push for Saudi Arabia to normalize relations with Israel. What are the chances that that ultimately happens? And if it does, how does that undercut Iran?
All right. All right. So I'm going to read this Guardian article, and then I got one other story. We have an update on the assassination plot of President Trump and other people at the UFC 250 event. But first, I want to read this from Guardian. I'm not going to read all of it. Pretty big article here, but this will get us all caught up to date. So, little speed reading time. Also, I want to be called spaghetti. Submarines sent there are badass. U.S. president declares waterway open and demands tariff as both sides engage in heavy drone and missile exchanges. Donald Trump has once again threatened to take control of the Strait of Hormuz as he announced the reimposition of a naval blockade on Iran and demanded a 20% tariff on all cargoes shipped through the key maritime passage. Declaring the strait open, Trump suggested in a post on his Truth Social platform that the U.S. should be known henceforth as the guardian of the Strait of Hormuz. The guardian of the Strait of Hormuz. As Iran and the U.S. engaged in some of the heaviest drone and missile exchanges since an interim deal was negotiated to bring an end to the conflict. Trump has made numerous complaints and threats during the war with Iran, including frequent claims of victory, many of which have had little grounding in reality. But on Monday evening, the U.S. Navy-led Joint Maritime Information Center said the U.S. would begin enforcing the blockade on Iran on Tuesday. What do you mean frequent claims of victory, many of which have had little grounding in reality? I mean, haven't we wiped out most of their Navy, their Air Force, a huge percentage of their weapons stockpiling? We've set back their nuclear progress, at least a good bit. So it's a slow, constant victory. Unfortunately, Israel enacted the Samson option, so we're kind of effed. Last case scenario, though. Oh, they can drop some nukes. The drones deployed from the submarines are doing the work instead of boots on the ground. Yeah. We've been sending Ukraine weapons for 4 years now, or a long ass time now, 2 years, and we've been studying. If you remember from the debate with Dylan, we were talking about how we send them weapons and they use them on Russia, and then they send us back the diagnostics and all the information they've gathered and the tests of the weapons and stuff like that. How many people they were able to kill with this drone and this bomb, how many people they were able to kill with this drone and this bomb. They send that information back to us. We've perfected that technology, and now we're testing that technology out in Iran. So there was some benefit to supporting Ukraine for a little while. It was that we could test out our new toys on Russia. That could be a good thing, but what I was telling Dylan is that's not, you can't morally obligate me to support sending weapons to one of my enemies so that they can test them out on my other enemies and then tell me so I can use those weapons and make them better on my other enemies. That may be a good thing. It may be beneficial to America, but you can't morally obligate somebody to support that. The blockade covering all of Iran's ports, oil terminals, and coastal areas will be enforced for all vessel traffic regardless of flag from 20 GMT on the 14th of July, the center said in an advisory. Is this Trump talking? I don't know if this is Trump talking. Any vessel suspected of entering or departing the blockade area without authorization is subject to interception, division, and capture. Non-compliant vessels may be legally compelled with force, the statement said. The center said neutral transit through the Strait of Hormuz heading to or from non-Iranian destinations will not be impeded. It remains unclear in practical terms how easy it would be for the Navy to do this. Trump's demand for a 20% tariff comes despite his administration's previous insistence that no country should be allowed to charge fees or passages used for international navigation. That stance was reiterated last month by the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who said no country is allowed to charge tolls or fees on an international waterway that's existing international law. Iran's Islamic, so they're saying that he's going back on that. A tariff. Fee, He's trying to tell the country not to work with Iran. You're helping Iran if you go through there, and we're in a conflict with Iran. So now we're charging the tolls. Yeah, that is a backtrack on what they originally said, that we weren't going to do that. But shoot, we get some money out of it. I'm all right. No, I don't read your chats, Marilyn. I do read my chat. I just don't read yours. That stance was reiterated. And see, now I'm just reading yours. I heard we also sold them our old stuff too. Who, Ukraine? Probably. Sold or gave? Yeah. Sold. Obama and Biden gave it to them and then some. Yeah, it wasn't sold. It was just gave. There was no reciprocity. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC, accused the U.S. on Monday of jeopardizing global oil and gas supplies by interfering in the strait, as Tehran threatened that any U.S. moves would be strongly contested. Yeah, we're interfering with the world's energy because we don't want you to control it. You've lost all your cards. The IRGC spokesperson Hussein Mohebi said Washington had seriously endangered the security of the world's oil and gas supply and must be held accountable, adding in a post on X that Tehran would continue to exercise sovereignty over and management of the Strait of Hormuz. The International Maritime Organization, the United Nations agency that oversees safety and security measures in the international shipping, said it was waiting to find out more about Trump's proposal, but added, "We have always been consistent on our stance on fees. IMO stands firmly against charging fees for passage through straits used for international navigation. There is no legal bias through which to introduce mandatory tolls simply to transit through a strait." On Monday night, the U.S. said it had launched its third consecutive night of strikes against Iran. U.S. and Iranian forces exchanged missile and drone attacks on Monday. The IRGC said it had targeted U.S. military facilities in Bahrain and Kuwait, destroyed radar systems in Oman, and hit fuel tanks and ammunition depots at Prince Hassan Air Base in Jordan in response to American strikes. The U.S. military said it had struck Iranian air defense systems, coastal radar sites, missile and drone capabilities, and small boats on Sunday using aircraft, naval vessels, and drones. On Monday morning, loud explosions were heard in Iran's Qeshm Qeshm Island and in the port city of Bandar Abbas. Trump said the U.S. would probably take over the strait and should be reimbursed for controlling the waterway. We're gonna keep the strait and we'll probably run it, Trump said in a phone interview on Fox News. We'll become the guardian of the strait. Maybe we'll call it the guardian angel of the strait, and we should be reimbursed for that. The exchanges marked an escalation in the pace and geographic scope of attacks over the past week after the near total collapse of the interim ceasefire. So, it's seeming to draw out forever, which is not a good look on Trump. Still no boots on the ground. I'm not happy about the Iran stuff. Trump did go back on his word of no new wars, unless you want to play semantics and say it's not actually a war. It's not actually new. It's actually a forever conflict. Okay, I get it. I'll say the same thing if I'm debating with somebody and I'm defending Trump in a debate. But y'all know I'm not a huge fan of this Iran war. But I also don't want Iran to get fake nukes, and I also don't want them controlling the world's energy. So I see the play here, and I'm on the side of it as long as nukes don't fly and we don't send a whole bunch of troops over to Iran. But listen, guys, it might happen. It very well might happen. And if it does, I'm not going to totally turn on Trump. I'm just going to say, like I'm saying now, I don't like it. But he's my leader. I voted for him. And I don't have to agree with everything he does, but I need to stand behind my leader. And when he's out, I can say, hey, that was a bad move. That was a bad move. Hindsight's 2020. But I still support Trump. Trump's still my boy. This is a drama channel now. Oh, yeah, I forgot. We don't have no drama to talk about. Drama. Brian Shapiro blocked Cool Vic from coming to a 10v1. That's crazy. That's the drama. I want to go to a 10v1 in Vegas. I could go to Vegas once I get my car. We're waiting till after DebateCon to get the whip. Once I get my whip, I'll drive to Vegas over the weekend. I think it's only 4 hours away from me. Drive. We have one more story for rapid fire. I just didn't have it in the folder. No, it's on YouTube. Hold on. We have new updates on the, I guess it was 8 snipers at UFC Freedom 250. A plan with 8 snipers. Speaking of Cool Vic, I think he's going to be my biggest threat at World War. Not because he's a better debater than me, but because he has a bigger audience and everybody's pushing him now. Andrew talks about him all the time, and now with this Cool Vic stuff, Jake Rattlesnake's talking about him, so he's got a pop right now. He's blowing up right now, and he'll probably be the toughest one to beat in the World War thing just because of popularity. But I'm not worried about debating him. Just saying. Which, unfortunately, that sucks that it is just another popularity contest. But anyway, where's the story? It is in Watch Later.
14th.
We're going to get updates on this UFC Freedom 250 attempted terrorist attack or assassination on Trump, or just, I think they just wanted to kill anybody, but their target was Trump. He's not a very good debater. You can definitely beat him. I know I can beat him in a debate, but if it's just pick your favorite guy, I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen. I shouldn't say that. Open Discord, let us debate about it? No. All right, let's watch this. So this is an update. Oh, hold up. Wrong window. All right, so this is an update on the terror plot. I don't know if it counts as an assassination attempt because I don't think their goal was specifically to assassinate Trump. That was probably one thing they wanted to do, but they had snipers pointed at the exits, and they were just going to shoot people as they fled. That was the plan, from what I understand. But we have new updates on the UFC Freedom 250 terror plot from the DOJ. Let's listen to this.
Here today to discuss the indictment of 8 men who are charged in 2 conspiracies related to the plot to kill federal government officials and other members of the public who attended the Ultimate Fighting Championship, or UFC, Freedom 250 event in Washington, D.C. at the White House on June 14th. Before I continue, I want to remind everybody that what I am about to discuss is alleged in charging instruments that contain allegations only, and that the defendants we're going to talk about today are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. As our court filings reveal, the investigation of this plot began on June 10th right here in the Southern District of Ohio, when Knox County Sheriff's deputies and Danville police officers responded to the Knox County resident of Tyson Proper after receiving a report from a concerned family member. Upon further investigation, Proper was arrested and charged in this district by criminal complaint. The investigation continued
back in timeout
and led to the arrest of and federal criminal complaints filed against 6 other individuals located in 4 other federal jurisdictions across the country. Those individuals are Abraham Alvarez, Daniel Eskridge, William Faulkner, Jordan Rinker, Brian Roa, and Michael Thomas.
Damn.
Thanks to this quick law enforcement action,
it's not good, boys. They all sound white.
And close coordination and cooperation between federal prosecutors in my office and those in the Central District of California, the Western District of Missouri, the District of Nebraska, and the Western District of Washington, as well as from the Department of Justice's National Security Division. This alleged plot was disrupted before it could be carried out, ensuring a safe and successful UFC Freedom 250 event on June 14th.
And it was safe and very successful.
The indictment handed down yesterday consolidates all of these previously.
It was way more successful than the Conor McGregor fight.
Filed criminal complaints into one charging instrument and adds an 8th defendant to the conspiracy, Chandler D. Skaggs, 21, of Chapmanville, West Virginia.
They're young.
Mr. Skaggs was taken
bunch of Antifa terrorists, probably 764 Antifa terrorists,
into custody a few days ago in West Virginia. The indictment charges all 8 men with 2 conspiracy counts. The first count is a conspiracy to provide material support to terrorists by way of money, firearms, ammunition, body armor, explosives, drones, medical and communications equipment, as well as personnel, with the knowledge and intent that those resources were to be used in preparation for and to carry out the murder of federal officers and employees in the course of an attack on a federal facility and the use of a weapon of mass destruction. That first conspiracy count is punishable by up to 15 years of imprisonment.
A weapon of mass destruction?
The second count is a conspiracy to commit murder on federal government territory and to murder a federal government official, including the President of the United States.
God, these guys are going to be screwed.
The Vice President of the United States and members of Congress. That second count is punishable by up to a lifetime of imprisonment. The indictment details several overt acts allegedly committed by the defendants in May and June of this year, including acquiring and maintaining firearms, ammunition and body armor, meeting to train in marksmanship and combat tactics, meeting to provide firearms and other gear to each other, purchasing a 3D printer to make drones, making plans to travel together to Washington, D.C., and actually beginning travel to Washington, D.C. The allegations in this indictment, we allege, show that these men were not simply airing grievances from behind their keyboards and sharing like-minded political ideologies. Rather, they took action to carry out a plot to attack the UFC Freedom 250 event and to murder federal officials at the highest levels of our government. Political discourse has many places in our society, political violence has none. Because of the diligent, around-the-clock work of our AUSAs, our law enforcement partners, our sister U.S. attorneys' offices around the country, and the National Security Division, these 8 men are now in custody, and this threat to our government and to the public has been successfully neutralized. But our work is not finished. My office, along with our great law enforcement partners, will continue to do everything in our power to protect our fellow citizens from threats to their safety and to hold accountable those who would commit violence against our nation and its leaders.
I wonder how they figured it out. Like, were they on Discord? Were they using signal chats? They said they had a tip from a family member, but a bunch of young guys, probably a bunch of Antifa type guys, a bunch of these radical nihilist extremists, Antifa types. But yeah, it was a serious threat. If they 3D printed drones and trained. Yeah. Anyway, guys, that's all the news I got. I don't have a third segment planned. Think I'm going to call it early. I might start just doing 2 hours and maybe do it twice a week or something. Mondays and Wednesdays, 2 hours instead of 3 hours. So that way I could sleep a little longer and I can kind of split up the show. Instead of having to fill the 3 hours, I could do 2 hours and 2 hours. I don't know. Thinking about it, guys, but we got DebateCon coming up. I don't have any debates or any plans lined up or anything like that. But I got my email from Ward War. I've already sent them my availability for my second Ward War debate, assuming I win my first one. They said that hopefully the videos will start airing on Ward War soon, because it's almost the end of July. And the dates for the second one, the recording starts from July 30th to in August. So we need to know if we won or not before the 30th. So the videos should be, the Ward War debate videos should start dropping soon. And then I got DebateCon coming up. Take the drone out there. We'll get one more Monday night show before DebateCon, which is next week. But for this show, I'm going to wrap up, guys. We will get through the book of, well, I have a lot of things I got to go to the mall and get a few things, and I have to go to Men's Warehouse and get a couple shirts and a new tie. And those places open at like 10 a.m., which is usually when I start streaming in the morning. And so I have to wait till 10 a.m. and then I have to run there. And by the time I get home, it's time to go to bed. So we might miss some morning streams this week. Maybe not. I'm going to try to finish Mark this week. It'd be nice to have Matthew, Mark, and Luke finished before DebateCon, but I don't know if that's going to happen just because I got a bunch of things I have to do in the morning. But make sure you're subscribed. You hit the like button on this, and you got your bell turned on so you know whenever I go live. I go live in the morning every Monday night, except when we miss and we make it up on a Tuesday like this week, which is usually rare, but it's been happening more and more frequently lately. I'm busy. Got a lot of stuff going on. But morning times, we do Bible streams Friday mornings. We do morning streams after I get off work because I work overnight. And Friday and Saturday night, I stream all night long. So that's the schedule. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Got the bell, all that good stuff. And I will send you guys over to maybe Cool Vic. Since I'm not a very good drama channel, maybe I'll send you to Cool Vic. He's a better drama channel. Oh, he's not. It's not saying he's live anymore. It was just saying he was live. Is he over? Oh, he's still alive. Okay. All right, I'll send you guys over there. You can find out about his beef with Brian Shapiro. But thank you guys for hanging out. God bless. The world's a crazy place. I just report on it. I will see you guys again soon. Thank you for hanging out. If you like it, tell a friend. If you hate it, tell everybody. This has been the Dreaded Conservative Show, Tuesday night, kicking the week off right. I'm out, guys. Go say hi to Cool Vic for me. Tell him JS sent you. Put a chair in his chat. Tell him he's going to get crushed in the Ward War debate. All right, guys, I'm out. Peace. Thank you.